All right, guys, welcome in. It is Thursday for Total Bases. We're back with the full the three-man panel for the first time since Monday. And I caught some of your guys' show yesterday, which I thought was excellent. I was on my way out to I'm not even going to ask. I mean, I told you guys I was going to an Erie Seawolves game, so I'm assuming you know that the cap is from the game. As you see the Seawolf right there. But I jumped in the comments and every once in a while, it's all good, but there's always someone that's like, I wish you guys just went in order. And you guys jump around a lot. Here's the thing. Unfortunately, on this show, we show up to do this for the live. We do it for everyone, but the live viewers, we play off of, right? Like, that's the thing. We're always going to get to the games the live viewers ask for. However, today is one of those unique days. All the OCDers in the chat unite because we are going in order. And we are getting to every single game on the board today. A rare total basis where we will hit every game, and we will go in order right down the list. So let's get it started, Bryan Leonard. Your Cleveland Guardians, the only day game today, and they're taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Lower scoring game than we all kind of thought yesterday, and Cleveland eked out the win 3-2. Can't be hard to believe it's low scoring with these two characters on the mound today, but how are you seeing this one, Orioles Guardians?
Yeah, Orioles cost me yesterday. Is it just me, or is the team not playing with emotion? It just looks like they're never excited in the game and just waiting for the season to end, and they're playing like it, I'm telling you. Charlie Martin going today for the Orioles, 5.58 ERA, 4.35 expected. So he's got some positive regression coming his way. 1.56 whip is kind of ridiculous for over 88 innings. If you take a look at his walk rate this year, it's at 10%, and he's had problems the last few years, 9.3, 11.6, 8.7. So that's something that we can grow to expect out of him. Is in his career is at 8.7, but as he gets older, he's starting to lose that control a little bit. And the thing is, his strikeout rate has been dropping. It was 23.8 last year, 22.5 now. So he's got a 12.5 strikeout minus walk ratio. And his four-seamer, he throws 30% of the time. It's at 94.1, which is basically about average. If you take a look at lefties compared to righties, lefties is about 93.1, righties about 94.9, which is why when you find a left-handed pitcher that throws with really good velocity, like Mizrowski and some others, it's tough for especially lefties to make the adjustments against them, a lefty-on-lefty situation. So they have a lot of success in that regard. Much more pitchers in baseball are right-handers, and they throw a little bit harder. So that's where you can basically come out and look for lefties that throw fastballs 94 or higher, and I think that's a good subset. That if you were just to look at something without handicapping, I think you'd have a lot of success doing that overall. But Morton started the season lousy, and he's been better as of late. So we'll see how it goes here. Logan Allen comes in 4.06 ERA, 4.41 expected, 1.38 whip. Hard hit rate, excellent, 87%. Average exit velocity, 82nd. But I do have concerns. He's the lefty. I just said league average is 93.1. His four-seamer is only 90.9, and that's his most popular pitch. He's got 5 pitches, but he throws that 31% of the time, which is why he gets hit pretty hard sometimes. Chase rate, 9th percentile, whiff rate, 13th, strikeout, 21st. So we've got two guys here that can really struggle in this game. But it is a day game. And it is it's a situation where you've got Cleveland going for the sweep. And usually on the day games, we see more unders because everybody wants to get out there early. And if you watch Major League Baseball yesterday, you can definitely see it out of these umpires. They're just doing a terrible job. I can't wait for that computer to take over. If they push it back one more year, I'm going to lose a lot of my fandom for Major League Baseball. This game, Allen, the lefty, is about a 110 favorite over Morton, the righty, total of 9. Like to fade both these teams. both these pitchers, but with it being last game of the series, I'll probably pass.
Let me address a couple of the comments first. Who was that? Adam, come on Hanwha. I'm on Hanwha as well, and I'm watching the game right in front of me in the KBO. Stacy asked me about my bullpen rankings. If you go to my page at wagertalk.com, I have all my pitcher projections and rankings downloadable for free right now. So go check that out. Adam and Bryan and myself, I have a play out in Major League Baseball already. Take a minute and visit our sites. Takes you a couple seconds, and we always have free plays up. Regarding this game, Logan Allen and Charlie Morton, my numbers love the Guardians in this game, but it's not so much loving the Guardians, it's so much hating the Orioles. I mean, the Orioles in current form, their bullpen is ranked dead last, and their lineup is ranked 26 out of 30. And then on top of that, to add insult to injury, Charlie Morton on the road, he has a 6.81 ERA in 37 innings. That's not good. He does have decent numbers against this team in his career, where Logan Allen has horrible numbers against the Orioles in his career. Small sample size, but all said and done, you'd have to either play an over or the Guardians, in my opinion. I don't really have a lot of faith in Logan Allen, but the price is not high at all to take the Guardians here. The Baltimore Orioles are just playing like garbage right now, in my opinion. I mean, I don't see how anyone could back that team right now. I just don't see it.
I wholeheartedly agree with something you both each said. One, TB, I'm totally with you. It's less about, I don't really love this Guardians team, but I would love to play against the Orioles here. And it's the and I'll explain what my problem with that in just a second. Bryan, great point. The Orioles, they just look checked out. Everything about them looks checked out. And then you have a scenario where, if I play the Guardians, I have to back Logan Allen, who I don't particularly like. If I play the Orioles, I have to back a team on the road that is nearly dead last in WRC plus against left-handed pitching on the road this season. The Orioles have been horrendous against lefties, and they've been poor on the road. When you combine those two things, and now they're on the road against a left-handed pitcher, even one in Logan Allen that I maybe don't love a ton, that's a problem. So, this would have been a scenario where if I looked at the Orioles and they had a pitcher I could stomach, like that would have maybe, because we kind of talked, Bryan. I agreed with you yesterday. I thought yesterday was the spot for the Orioles. They ended up losing that game. So I was like, okay, well, can I come back with them here? Well, there's a 0 chance I'm playing Charlie Morton. I'll tell you that. So for me, it has to be Guardians or pass. And I'll kind of echo the sentiments of some of the chat here, who is basically, pointing out what we're kind of pointing out. The Guardians have played better. So, maybe I have to step back and say, okay, maybe, like, I was very, very down on this team for a couple of months. I felt like I was right about that. But I think we have to acknowledge that they have played better in recent weeks. Going into the break, they had that nice series against the Astros, and now they've won the first 3 games of this series. So it's probably going to be difficult for me to find a way in to this game, unless I just say, you know what, the hell with it. Let's ride the hot team, the team that's now won 11 of their last 13 games, and take the Guardians in a scenario that's not only favorable to them, but it's a terrible spot for an Orioles team that hasn't played well on the road and has not hit left-handed pitching. So I kind of have to agree with the chat, and I guess I agree with you guys. Guardians are pass for me right here. Can't see any other way I could possibly play this one. All right, someone in the chat said, the Tigers, man. So yesterday, I'm driving to Erie, and I hit my KBO play in the morning, and my whole sort of plan, the one game I really did like yesterday, full disclosure, was the Tigers. And, this is where Bryan and I talk about price point and stuff. I was like, well, I'm going to, we'll see. I got a 3.5-hour drive. I'm just going to kind of check the market and see if this comes into range, if it's a playable number, if it comes into range. And then it actually went further in the other direction. So it kind of priced me out because I wanted under -140. It took a little money, I think. I don't know where that ended up going off. But it made my day easy yesterday because as soon as I saw they were down 6-0 or 5-0, I kind of went like, you know what? Let's take the KBO winner and just move on, and we'll move on to Thursday, because the game I really liked yesterday got blown up very quickly, and it was very much the wrong side. So we'll go to that game here. The chat comment is a good one. He's talking about Kerry Carpenter. He said, man, they need him back to really get things going. Well, that's happening soon, because he's been in the lineup at Toledo, which means he's around the corner from coming back. Chad Picard said this team just does not seem to hit without Carpenter. He needs to set the tempo. Yeah, if you go back to the beginning of the season, Brian Leonard, we looked at this Tigers lineup, and I think that the consensus was, outside of Carpenter, Green, and maybe Baez. I don't even know if we considered Baez in that group just yet, but It was whoever they had 2 through 4, Carpenter, Green, and then there was one other guy, Torkelson maybe.
Yeah.
We were basically like, this lineup is not very good. And then they proved us all wrong. And now they're starting to look like the lineup we thought they were going to look like going into the season. So they've got a big challenge here. The Blue Jays are no joke. This is not the team that you really want to run into when you're not playing your best ball. So how are you seeing this one, Blue Jays Tigers?
Yeah, even if Carpenter was back today, he wouldn't be playing because he's going up against the lefty. And that really hurts them when you've got what I consider your best hitter on the team, and he sits out, 25 to 35% of the time. They got to give him a chance to face lefties. He can't be. I mean, his numbers have been bad in the past, but you can't have probably your best hitter sit out so many games, and that's the problem they're having. Lauer being the lefty, going against Detroit and Olsen, 2 guys that have been very good, and we're looking at Olsen basically about a 125 favorite and a total of 8.5 here. And when I take a look at the WRC Plus leaderboard, I've been using 30 days. I started the season, then I went to 30 days, and it kept giving me reasons to play against Cleveland. And so I switched it to the last 14 days, and Cleveland's up there at number 8. 108 as opposed to one of the worst in baseball. We talked about this yesterday. The Angels were number 1 overall. Now they've got a WRC plus of 132. Seattle second at 127. Toronto 122. Detroit dead last, tied with the Boston Red Sox at 68. So there's a huge recency bias for the offense here for Toronto. Eric Lauer's made some changes. He hadn't pitched in the majors since 2023. He's come back this year, and he's definitely made some changes. And some of the guys that I follow, the breakdown pitchers, say this is real, and it looks real. His ERA is 2.80. His expected ERA is 3.06. His WHIP, excellent, 0.97. If you take a look at what he did in 2023, his last season, where he pitched some innings, through almost 1,000 pitches that year. His strikeout minus walk ratio was 9.0. Right now, it's at 20.4. He's so much better than he is now. If he didn't come into this season with the name of Eric Lauer, people would have been jumping all over this guy as if he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's been really good. He's been held back from his past. In his career, he's gone 7 seasons, 4.16 ERA. He's a much better pitcher now than he has been all season long, and I think that's going to continue. Reese Olson, if you watched any of my breakdowns, this is a guy I really like. 2.71 ERA, expected 3.66. He's been a little bit lucky. 1.19 WHIP. His strikeout to walk ratio is 14.9, a little bit less than what we want. His extension's bad in the 9th percentile, average exit velocity 6th percentile, hard hit rate 16th percentile. I like both these pitchers, but I don't trust this Detroit betting. The betting here for Detroit, they have not played well, and you're getting the hotter team in Toronto at plus money, and that's the only way I would look here. Toronto or nothing for me, and as much as I like Olsen, I think Lauer is for real, and I know this Toronto team right now is hitting so much better than Detroit is. Detroit right now is just having a hard time getting back on track, And as you mentioned, a lot of those guys that were fringe players coming into the season, a couple of them made the All-Star team. They're starting to fade. And as good as this Detroit team is, from number one all the way down to their last player, they need somebody to step up, and they're not doing it offensively right now.
At first look at this game, I would love to play the Blue Jays here. Got a couple red flags when I break it down into detail. Namely, well, first of all, the reason I like the Blue Jays off the bat is because they're hitting a lot better. The Tigers are ranked almost dead last in Major League Baseball in recent form. And their bullpen is a little bit above average, but the Blue Jays bullpen is lights out right now. They're playing great. I have them ranked number 1 in all of MLB in recent form. And the Blue Jays lineup is ranked 8 in recent form. So those indicators much, much, much higher than the Tigers. Olsen and Lauer got them ranked pretty close to each other. They're both top 12. Olsen a little higher. And if you look at how Olsen's performed against the Blue Jays in the past, really good. A 208 average against and a 571 OPS. So, or wait, I'm sorry. It's even better than that. Hang on a second. I had the wrong team there. Yeah, an 083 average against and a 237 OPS and 36 at-bats against. Not a big sample size, but he has performed well against them. Lauer's not a bad pitcher on the road. If you think Olsen can hold these bats down, maybe a first 5 under would be a play, or go with the Blue Jays perhaps. I'm still thinking about it, but those are the 2 directions I would go. I'm just a little scared to play the Blue Jays considering how good Olsen has pitched against him in his past. But the sample size is small, so maybe I can overlook it. I'll break it down a little further, but those would be the 2 directions I would go.
So what I've noticed watching Korean baseball for now as long as I have, and just Asian baseball in general, for the players that go over, it feels like the position players and the hitters that go over there go over to get one final payday before they're maybe out of the game. Whereas the pitchers that go over there, and I think this really started with Chris Flexen in 2020 when he got a lot of attention because the rest of the world was watching Korean baseball. There was nothing going on. He got a lot of attention over there, and then he came back and remade his career. I think for pitchers, a lot of them are going over to get the experience and the reps that they're not really able to get in this country at like the highest level. So what I mean by that is, yes, you can hang around in AAA and you can hang around in the minors, or you can get to a big league team. Maybe you're pitching out of the bullpen, but there's no guarantee you're going to throw every 5th day. And even in the minors, even if you're a starter, a lot of times it's still developmental. They got to get everyone innings. They may not let you pitch into the 6th or the 7th like they would, let's say, Korea, where a guy like Eric Lauer can go over there. He knows he's going to pitch every 5th day, and he knows he's going to be one of the guys. Like, he's going to throw 100 to 110 pitches, and then not only does he get to do that, but he gets different perspective on pitching. The Asian, and TB can speak to this for days, how the Asian philosophy on pitching is a little bit different. It's a lot more concentrated on pitch mix and getting guys out because Asian hitters are just up there slapping a lot of times. So you really have to kind of reinvent yourself as a pitcher. So now we have documented, like, we have 5 years of documented, like, guy goes over, remakes himself as a pitcher, guy comes back, and now he's suddenly not the guy that the league remembered him to be. Now, yeah, I get it. Eric Fedde's had a tough go of late, but look at Eric Fedde when he came back the year after he went to Korea. He was awesome. Chris Flexen, the 2 years after he came back from Korea, he had like a sub-4 ERA for the Mariners. Now, guys, they're going to catch up with you at some point, but I'm talking about coming back and having immediate success because of what Bryan has said. The league is still attacking Eric Lauer like he's Brewers Eric Lauer, right? Like he's Eric Lauer from the Brewers. Oh, the best example of it, I can't believe I forgot Ben Lively just because he's been out. He might be the best example of all. Comes back and that's what Lauer has done. He went over there, was able to tweak his pitch mix, but also probably has a new philosophy on like how he's going to attack hitters. And the league just is not, I don't think the league is looking at what he was doing in Korea. I really think the league is probably more basing it like, okay, he was on the Brewers in 2023. This is the type of pitcher he is. It took Major League Baseball an entire year to figure out Eric Fedde was throwing a sweeper. That's baffling to me because we watch it every fifth day with the Korean baseball, Brandon. But it took the league literally an entire year to figure out, okay, Fedde's going to throw the sweeper. Now they figured it out. Now they're hitting him. So right now we're in the sweet spot for Eric Lauer, where he was in Korea last year. He's back, and he's just doing things differently than he did in the past. His command is better. Why is his command better? Well, he got to go out and pitch every fifth day in Korea, throw 100 pitches, and pitch in the biggest games for Kia last year. That matters too, right? You're now at the big league level. You're not really worried after you go to Korea and you're pitching in front of those crowds, sellouts every single game, huge spots. I mean, those games might not mean as much here in the States. They mean everything to them. You are a much more mature pitcher. And so I think that's what we're seeing out of Lauer. And I think that can explain why he's done what he's done. It also, in my opinion, leads me to believe that it's not fake. Like he's not just going to go get blown up the second half. I think like what you've seen from him at this point is now what he is. The rest of the league will have to adjust and figure out how to hit him. Will they at some point? Probably. Is it going to be this game? Probably not, because he's still in that like sweet spot where he's been a starter for a couple months. He's back. He's rolling along. So Lauer's been fantastic. I think that's why. And again, I just don't think the league is going to figure that out overnight. So I think you're going to continue to see Eric Lauer have success. I would have loved for this to be a spot where I could potentially play the Tigers because, as I said, I liked them yesterday. But I also go back to our conversation from Tuesday. I need to see something from the Tigers really before I bet on this team. And that's ultimately what kept me off yesterday at that price point, Bryan Leonard, because I loved how that game. So Melton, they called up everything about that. I loved for the Tigers. I didn't love the price point, and I went back to the little voice in my head saying, you said you need to see something out of this team before you're going to bet on them, and you still haven't seen it. So coming to this game, I still haven't seen it. So it has to be the Blue Jays at this price or pass. And again, I am in no rush to fade Eric Lauer because what he's doing right now is what we saw Fedde do for almost a year, and no one figured it out. And I don't think anyone's going to figure him out either. Go ahead, Bryan.
We've talked about this in the past, but I know we got a lot more different viewers than we've had at that time. Since both of you handicap the other countries, Brandon does Mexican baseball also. Can you once again go over what you would compare the Korean League and the Japanese League to American baseball?
Me, Japanese is AAA. They got at least 5 pitchers in Japan right now that could take over spots in starting rotations in major leagues. So they're a AAA league, and I would put Korean either college or single A.
Oh, no.
In my opinion, yes.
No way.
Their fielding could be
finish, but
their fielding is actually worse than single A. They don't know how to field, and they make so many errors. There's at least 5 errors a game in Korean. They can't field. Pitchers can't pitch. Their bullpens have ERAs of over 6, and I mean it's just terrible. I would say single A to be kind.
Dude, that's the second worst comment you've made on the show this year. The first one was saying that the Brewers were done. Okay, listen, you have not watched single A baseball. If you're saying Korean is single A, that's single A baseball is essentially just 18-year-olds, most of which are not going to make it to. That's
pretty much
spot.
What I think Korean
false.
is.
100% false. What Korean is. I'm going to give a very, because we have time, I'm going to give a very thorough explanation of what the Korean League is, and then you can tell me I'm wrong. Essentially, what you have in Korea is a mix.
I've been there and watched them.
But you clearly haven't watched minor league baseball in this country to say it's single A, because that's just inherently false.
I would say single A, they field better than KBO.
Can I finish what I'm going to say, and then you can tell me if I'm wrong? This is what Korean baseball is. It is a mix of players from basically AAA and AA. And I'm going to finish. I'm going to explain why, and then you can tell me if I'm wrong. Because the import guys that come over, the couple on the roster, are guys that are probably AAA type guys. Like, look at every roster. You've got, your 2 pitchers and your import hitter. They're guys that might make it in the MLB somewhere, like a Mike Talkman has sort of come back and made it in the MLB, right? Like Jonathan Perlaza had a really good season from Hanwha. He's having a good season at AAA. So those guys are AAA. Then you have the next wave of players is Korean-born players that are like potentially good enough to play in the MLBs. The Ha-Sung Kims, the Hae-Sung Kims, those guys are somewhere in between.
Two in the history
MLB.
of the KBO.
No. There's
Yes.
more than that. I'm saying those guys are playing in the majors. There's another wave of players that would be good enough to play in AAA. Then the majority of the league, I would say, is similar to AA. What does that mean? In the way minor league baseball works, AA is basically prospects. They're younger. So a lot of the Korean guys who start playing pro at 18, now when they're 23, 24, they're in the league for 4 or 5 years. Those are what we have mostly at AA. I just went to a AA game yesterday. It's 20, 21, 22-year-olds that are like, yes, they're going to make errors. They're still raw. They're still figuring out the game. TB, where I'll agree with you, the bottom half, the very, very bottom, the guys on the bench and the last couple guys in the bullpen and the last couple guys in the team are probably A-ball guys. But the level of play, I watch more minor league baseball than everyone in this chat combined. Everyone on the panel, everyone in this chat combined. The level of play is somewhere between double and AAA. I have been to A-ball games. And I've been to I have college kids living with me right now. I watch college summer ball all year. We're a host family for the summer ball team. The level of play is significantly better than college. And, maybe Omaha when they're playing in the World Series, those are pretty good games. But dude, watch a lot of college baseball. It's not great. Like if you watch, like if I go to a Siena game, not great. I mean, it's somewhere between double and AAA. All right, I'm off the soapbox. Sorry, I knew we had time, but that was an asinine comment.
Give me one. My comment was asinine.
It's not single A. It's professional baseball. It's like the third best league in the world.
LSU would be in the middle of the pack if they played in the KBO. And Eric Fetty was literally the Cy Young Award winner. Would he be the Cy Young Award winner in AAA?
Dude, he
Absolutely
came
not.
back and shut down the majors last year. He had a great season.
Eric Fetty? Okay.
Dude, well,
and here's another one. Shin-Soo Choo was literally Ichiro in the KBO. Are you telling me that he would be literally Ichiro at AAA? I don't think
we're
so.
getting off topic. Shin-Soo Choo did not play in the KBO until he was about 40 years old. He came over here as an 18-year-old. He didn't play in KBO until he was like 37
one last
years
question,
old.
and we'll get off of this. Brandon, you do the Mexican League also, correct?
Yeah.
Compared to the others, how much farther down is the Mexican League than Korean baseball and Japan baseball?
It's similar to Korean, actually. A lot of the foreign players that go from Korea, they're playing like Odorismar Despagne is playing in Mexico right now, and a bunch of others. The thing is, Mexico has the altitude, so it's basically playing in Colorado ballpark with very unskilled players and a lot of guys who can crank the ball. Like Robinson Cano is the top hitter in Mexican right now, and he's like having an amazing season. But he wouldn't do that at Major League, and he probably would do that in the KBO though. So. Yeah, it's like pinball in Mexico.
I'm going to bring this back in because we got to start talking about Major League Baseball. But Jack makes a really good comment, and I think this should be thrown on the screen. College baseball is with the once NIL started, a lot of these guys are staying in college as opposed to signing contracts at 18 or 19. So there is some merit to that, TB. The highest level of college baseball, the LSUs, those teams, I mean, they might as well be that never used to happen. Now you've got 21, 22 kids that are saying 22-year-old kids that are saying, I'll go to minor league baseball later. Let me stay at LSU and pick up a paycheck. That's new. And that is a really good point. The college baseball has been a lot better. All right, listen, guys, in the chat, we have time today. We're going to get to all 5 games. So if we want to go off on a tangent, today's the day to do it. We've only got 5 games. We're already halfway through. And we're only halfway through the show. And TB, I'm gonna hit you with another KBO guy here in our transition to this game. Aaron Wilkerson, former Lotte Giant, was recently signed by the St. Louis Cardinals. he opted out of his contract in Cincinnati, probably because he's having, he's been behind, he's down at AAA behind guys like Chase Burns. I mean, they have so many good young pitchers. He's never going to get a look there. He's having a great season he was at Louisville. He made his AAA Memphis debut, 4 strikeouts, no walks. That is our guy, Aaron Wilkerson, former Lotte Giant. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the next guy up in that Cardinals rotation. That's my bold prediction here. Eric Fetty was DFA'd. We were just talking about him. The Cardinals let him go. They DFA'd him, I think, yesterday or the day earlier. You've talked about Mikolas not really belonging in a big league rotation. So my bold prediction here is Aaron Wilkerson gets a crack as a starter for the Cardinals very soon. But it's not going to be today because the starter's Sonny Gray. He's at home. He's opposing Yu Darvish. So let's get back to the MLB conversation. And it's all in good fun. We just have differing opinions on that. And, it is what it is. But let's get back to the MLB conversation. Sonny Gray, Yu Darvish, Cardinals, Padres. What are you seeing here, Bryan Leonard?
Yeah, Taj Bradley got sent to the minors after yesterday also. So that was something that a lot of people thought was going to happen. San Diego, St. Louis, Darvish and Gray. Gray, 142, 143 favorite, total of 8. Darvish has only thrown 13.1 innings thus far, has not looked good, 6.08 ERA, but his expected is 4.29, whip 1.5, which is not what we normally see out of Darvish. His walk rate is 11.7. He hasn't had an 11.7 walk rate since 2018, and that was because he only threw 740 pitches. His strikeout rate has been the major drop off in the short sample size. Just last year, he was at 23.6%, and that was the worst of his career. Now he's at 13.3. Obviously, small sample size, but when you got a starter with the 1.6 strikeout minus walk ratio, you want to take a look at going against him. His fastball 94.3, which is slightly less than league average, but we know what he's got. He's got a ton of pitches. He's got eight different pitches, and when you have 8 different pitches, the good part is when one of them's not working, you don't throw it. You got other things to throw. Unfortunately, if you're in that situation, you've got to have your chances of having a pitch that's not working is a lot higher when you've got to throw 8 of them. He just has a better choice of coming out with it. And Sonny Gray's very much the same. He's got 7 pitches he throws, 9-4 record, 4.04 ERA, 3.82 expected, 1.15 whip. But he's been very up and down this year. And his last start, if I remember correctly, he got hit really hard, and the Cardinals were never in that game. His walk percentile is great, 97th percentile, 89th chase rate. But his fastball velocity is only in the 15%. His 91.7. Now he does throw his fastball more than any other pitch, but he only throws at 21%. So if his fastball isn't working, he can get people out the other ways. I prefer, when it comes to the pitcher in this game, I like Sonny Gray much better. But this Cardinals team is not hitting right now. If you go back to the last 14 days, St. Louis is number 5 at 103 overall, where we're looking at the opposition here, and San Diego is number 13 at 107 overall. So I kind of like St. Louis here, but that team is just not playing well. Let's take a look at the standings right here. St. Louis is on a 3-7 run. They've lost their last 2. Despite having a winning record on the season, they've been outscored on the year. I don't trust either one of these teams right now, so I'll be passing.
So regarding this one, let's see what I got here. Kind of keeping my eye on this Hanwha game. They're about to blow it with another error. We got Sonny Gray going against Yu Darvish. Sonny Gray is a pitcher that generally the books like too much, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, he's a really good pitcher, but a lot of times he gets numbers that he doesn't deserve sometimes. He's an upper echelon pitcher, but he's not like elite top 10, in my opinion. And the books sometimes price him like that. He is a good pitcher though, and Darvish has come back. He's starting slow. He's getting basically he hasn't lost. I mean, he's just getting old, and he's losing a little bit of his edge, getting a little old. And the Cardinals, it's hard to back a team that just lost to the Rockies like that, but they are hitting better, and their bullpen's performing better than the Padres right now. So if there's any way I would go, it would be with the Cardinals here, because I don't see how you could back Darvish. Darvish actually was, when he pitched in Japan, he was actually better than Ohtani as a pitcher, not as a hitter, obviously, but he's the best Japanese pitcher I've ever seen. So in Japan, probably Tanaka would be the next, and then Kuroda after that. So he's just getting old, and he's losing a little bit of his edge. He would be a good middle reliever to eat up 1 or 2 innings. I don't think being a starter is his role anymore, in my opinion. But that could be an asinine comment, so we'll see what Adam has to say.
That's a we won't get back on that topic. Someone did though in the chat said Trig's been slamming those cut waters. So this is a Fresca, by the way. You couldn't see that. Great. Fresca's a great. You want to know what, Brian? My dad used to get this when I was a kid, and then I didn't see it for a very long time. And I'm pretty sure Coca-Cola purchased them, and now I see it everywhere. And I'm wondering if it's maybe not exactly the same. Like maybe they had to start mass producing it. It doesn't taste like childhood. I remember it being like much better than it was, but I'll still mess with it every once in a while. It's a one of the healthier sodas out there, trying to get healthier. But anyway, someone said Trig's been down in the Cutwaters. Probably disagreed with what I was saying, which again, I could care less. Totally fine with that. I'm going to have my opinion. Doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks. But I have an opinion on this. Cutwater is hands down the worst canned beverage, alcoholic beverage I've ever had. It is absolutely repulsive, disgusting. So you won't find me down in a Cutwater anytime soon. As far as this game is concerned, this was the easiest kind of pass for me on the board. I feel like I haven't had the Cardinals right. The one time I wanted to sort of step in with the Cardinals, and thankfully I didn't. We had the Cardinals right the other day in that first game against the Rockies. But the one time I really wanted to step in with the post-break was on Saturday. It was against the Diamondbacks, and thankfully did not. That was the Sonny Gray start. He got knocked around there, and I'm just, I kind of go back to the Marlins series with this Padres team. I lost that game with the Padres, the Randy Vasquez game. And my gut tells me the Padres might start playing better again. We go back to the beginning of the season with this team. I truly thought that they were an elite team, that they had a very good chance to win the NL West. Now, I don't see them in the same light that I did prior to the season, but I am is this the type of team I want to fade as an underdog? Because they had a very tough stretch for a period of time. And now they're starting to kind of dig out of it. Bryan, Leonard, where are they at in the standings? 10, 11 games over 500 right now?
Yeah,
I mean, the Padres. I think we're like 10. I think they're 55 and 47. They're 4.5 games back of the Dodgers. They're not the team I expected them to be to this point. I thought they were going to be better. But man, that bullpen looked good in the Marlins series. And that is why I'm just really not interested in fading the Padres. Then you throw in the fact that they have that, you're catching some plus money with them. That's where I'm just like, it's got to be Padres or pass. They're kind of the dangerous, underrated team to me, in my opinion, right now. That bullpen is really good. They haven't hit up to potential, but we know guys like Merrill, Tatis can get hot in a moment's notice. And plus 120 there on the Padres seems like a pretty decent price. Go ahead.
If Darvish doesn't get clobbered.
Just one comment, James. I appreciate that. I agree. You don't want to all agree all the time, because if we've done this long enough, everybody agrees on one side. That side never wins. And I love people having different opinions, and neither one of you guys are out there to try to hurt the other one. But I wanted to get involved in this. You had said, Trig, that you could care less. That's the wrong take. It should be
no.
You said I could care less, which means you could care less. The correct word is I couldn't care less.
Semantics.
And everybody
right.
says it wrong all the
Dude,
time.
I was an English
couldn't
major
care
too at
less, I
Siena.
think,
That's
is
really bad on my part.
Yeah.
That is really bad on my part. Yeah.
Proper English. We're not going to cover every game today.
Sure we are. We only got 2 more to go.
Sure we are. We only got 2 more. We got 20
All right.
minutes left. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We still
yeah,
got to
we're
do our
gonna-
parlay, which we lost yesterday, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have
Both
to
of us
see. Like,
lost.
it's there's not much. This card isn't offering much here. We'll see if we can find something in one of the later games. I think I have one of my stronger opinions coming up. But we'll see. We're heading out west. We've got a pair of AL West matchups to finish things off tonight. The first one is out in Houston, and this is a team that, again, I say the Pirates are a little bit undervalued, in my opinion, where they've been priced and what they could be. I think the Astros are the team that I can only see going one way from this point forward. And I just, relative to where they are in the market, Bryan Leonard, I just don't think that they're going to live up to pricing expectations, at least in the short term. So once again, Astros favored at home, but the A's are looking like the young A's that might be, might lose a boatload in a row. So how are you handicapping this one? Alexander, Severino, Astros, A's.
Yeah, this is my Tokyo Brandon game. Jason Alexander for Seinfeld going today. I figured Tokyo Brandon's got something to say about that. But Severino, Alexander's about a 122 favorite, total of 8.5 to the over. First look, I thought I was reading wrong because Houston at home against the A's, that's a cheap number. But then when you take a look at what Jason Alexander has done in his career, and Severino's been much better on the road, it makes a lot more sense. Severino, 5.10 ERA, 4.71 expected, 1.39 whip. He's gotten bombed at home. He's complained about the mound there. He's complained about everything there, and they're trying to get rid of him. His strikeout to walk ratio, this is my major concern with Severino. He's got a 96 mile an hour four-seamer, which is over one mile per hour faster than a normal. But his strikeout percentage is only 15.9. That is terrible. His strikeout minus walk ratio is at 8.3 on the season. His whiff rate, first percentile. He's a much better pitcher than that. Strikeout rate, 8th percentile. Even though he's pitched better on the road, I don't want to have to back him. Houston here with Jason Alexander. He started off in 2022, 5.40 ERA, got 11 starts. Hasn't pitched the last 2 years. Now he's back in the majors in 2025. He's had 1 start, 6 games overall, 8.40 ERA, 5.27 expected, 1.8 whip. His career ERA is 5.92, and his whip is 1.65. I don't want to be backing Jason Alexander. If I knew he was just going to be an opener and he was only there for an inning or so, that would be enough to get me involved here with Houston. Problem is, I don't think that's the case. I haven't read it. Maybe somebody in the chat knows how long he's going to go. But this is one of those things that maybe if you see he's in there, he's only in there for an inning, you can get a hell of a bargain by playing Houston in a live betting. We'll see how it goes. I expect him to try to get in for 4 or 5 innings. We'll see how that goes. But this is the game you want to watch if you want to take advantage of live betting.
These pretzels are making me thirsty. My favorite Jason Alexander line. Actually, Vandalay Industries. That's a good one too. Yeah, I agree with Colin in the comments. I'm going to put his comment up. I like the A's team total here, or I like any kind of over in this game because both teams are hitting pretty good. And even when they're not hitting well, they have a lot of talent and power in their lineups. Both bullpens, pretty mediocre in current form. Severino, I've got him ranked 27 out of 30 on a curve of 30 out of all starting pitchers. And Jason Alexander has a 8+ ERA. Granted, it's a small sample size. He got a win for that, by the way, but not the guy I want to be back in here. I think both teams should be able to smash. I would like the A's team total. I would like the game total. Haven't played it yet, but I certainly will be considering it.
No, I just have to, like, before I talk about the A's, like, we're talking like passionately and with conviction here, like because we just love the game of baseball and we love doing this. Well, I haven't even talked about something like I would probably consider betting yet today. Like that's just where we're at with a 5-game slate. Like, I'm not really disagreeing with anyone on the first 3 games. I'm just kind of like talking passionately about how I feel about the teams, but it's like, I'd be shocked if I'm involved in the first 3 games that we've actually talked about. Like, it's just, with a 5-game slate. I also think I want to point out that like the books really reset things during the break. Like I feel like the odds makers have nailed every slate pretty much since the break, with like the exception of Tokyo Brandon's 5%er when he had the Cardinals. I think he got on it early when it was like minus 130 something, and they should have probably been like a minus 250 favorite. Other than that, the books I feel like have been on point. Every day I'm looking at numbers. I'm not finding a ton of value. And I think that goes back to the All-Star break and them having 4 or 5 days to sort of redo power rankings and reset their ratings. It feels a lot like April, where there's just not as many numerical edges. Now, that's all going to change within the next 7 days because trades are going to start to happen. And you're going to see guys start to fly around different rosters, and they're not going to know how to handle that. But right now, it has been tough to find value. Similar to here, I love the A's. In theory, I really like the A's tonight. To go back to what Bryan was saying, I think Alexander, I think it's going to be go out there and we'll come get you when we have to, right? Whether that's 2 innings, 3 innings, 6 innings, like when he pitched the other day against the A's. This was the first time around against the A's. He went 6 innings, 2 earned runs on 3 hits. If he can do that, he's going to be in 5 or 6 innings. If he can't, or like the Dodgers, like I don't think they trusted him to continue against the Dodgers because he went 3 scoreless innings, but they probably were like, oh, we can't let this Dodgers lineup see him again. They'll crush him. And that's probably what will happen. And that's kind of what I think is going to happen regardless. Like the A's seeing him again in short succession could be very positive for them. The other thing is, prior to Alexander being on the Astros, he was in the A's organization. That's where he came from. He was with Las Vegas earlier this year, pitching a lot of games in AAA, if I remember correctly. So if any team might have a beat on him, it should be the A's facing him a second time. That being said, can you trust the A's right now, who are clearly having like that youth moment where they're just not playing good baseball? On the other side, you've got Luis Severino. Go look at his home road splits. He's been horrible in Sacramento. He's talked about hating playing in that ballpark. It's a park that gives up cheap home runs. And a lot of these players have said it's got a cheap feel to it. It doesn't feel like a major league stadium. Bryan just went. Bryan Leonard can talk to that. They don't like the fact that they're like going to the clubhouse in left field. It just doesn't have the big league feel. And when you're a guy like Severino, who's been in the big leagues for a while, that might wear on you more than, let's say, the rest of the A's roster who's been minor leaguers. They just all got here. They were just playing in the minors a year ago. So Severino loves pitching on the road. This year on the road for Severino, 3.10 ERA. His home ERA is 6.68. Batting average against on the road, 2.15. They're hitting 302 against him at home. So the home road splits are glaring right there. I like the A's. I wish I was getting a better number. I wish I could somehow get it plus 1.5, maybe in the parlay, but this feels like the spot where the A's have success, and at plus money, it's probably the right play. Do I want to get involved with them? I'm not sure. Sorry, Bryan. Did you want to follow up there?
No, I did not.
Okay. So we have 10 minutes left. Timed it out perfectly. I priced in the rant into the timing today. So we're down to the last 10 minutes and we still have a game to talk about. Last one on the board. It's the other half. Well, it's 2 other teams out of the AL West. And what I would consider to be the game of the day today. So Angels, Mariners, Kikuchi, Evans. Is that what we have, Bryan?
That's what we've got.
All right, take it away.
I do want to point out these are the 2 best hitting teams in the last 14 days. The Angels WRC plus 132, Seattle at 127, right ahead of the Toronto Blue Jays. We've got Evans against Kikuchi, Kikuchi being the left-hander. The Angels are about a 137 favorite, a total of 9. Logan Evans, 3.81 ERA, but his expected ERA is 5.51. His whip is 1.42. If you look at his StatCast page, there is not any red on his card. The best thing he does is his walk rate, 7.7% compared to a league average of 8.4. He's in the bottom 20th percentile in expected ERA, expected batting average, average exit velocity, whiff percentage, strikeout percentage, barrel rate, hard hit percentage, and extension. He is a guy with the 3.81 ERA that is probably one of the most overrated pitchers in Major League Baseball at this point. He's going against a good hitting Angels team. I think the Angels are going to score some runs against him. Kikuchi, even though he has only a 4-6 record on the season, 3.13 ERA, 4.26 expected ERA. So he's a guy who has been pitching with a little bit of luck as well. 1.38 whip. His walk rate is 10.3, strikeout rate 24.4. So we've got two guys here that can be hit, and they are going up against two of the hottest offenses in baseball. Now, I think Kikuchi, from a pitching standpoint, is a much better pitcher than Evans is. But if you do play Kikuchi, you're going to have to lay that number. You're going to have to lay the 138 or 140. I like the Angels slightly here, but I also like this game to go over the total of 9. Seattle's hit really well on the road all season long. LA is a very good offensive team. A lot of home runs out of this Angels team. They're more like the Yankees are, where you get a lot. They don't have enough guys that can move people along. It's either a big day or a bad day for the Angels. Toronto was similar to that in certain regards, but now they've got some players back this year that can generate offense. There's 3 games I'm looking at today, and I'm probably going to pass. I just want to let everybody know I don't force plays, and everything's not been going great anyway lately for me. There's 3 teams I'm looking for in my parlay. I'm looking at Toronto. I'm looking at, as Brandon pointed out, the Athletics team total over, and I like the Angels team total over. And I will use whichever one of those you guys don't use as my parlay.
I'm not using any, so
Okay.
you can use. Adam's not. Okay, guys, go to the replay, click the like, and leave a comment for us. Tell Wager Talk that you like our show. I have a MLB play out today, and also you can download my pitcher projections and all of my bullpen and hitter rankings for free at my page. I'm sure Adam will have a play up today as well. Regarding this game, I'm not a big Kikuchi fan. As we remember my rant before the All-Star game, I couldn't believe he made the All-Star game, but I like him today, actually. not to win the game, perhaps, but if you look at his historical stats against this team, they're pretty good. He's got a 215 average against in 93 at-bats and only a 5.85 OPS, where 750 is kind of the Mendoza line. So really good stats against this team. And at home, he's got a 1 ERA. I mean, pretty good stuff. It's not exactly 1.98 ERA in 59 innings at home. It's pretty good stuff. Looking at the Seattle lineup, I have them ranked 17 out of 30 right now. So I would say a Seattle team total under would be the way I would go in this one if I'm going to play it. Or I wouldn't argue with Bryan taking the Angels on the money line as well. The Angels bullpen scares me a little bit, but actually Seattle's not performing very well either in current form. So yeah, I would agree with Bryan on that as well.
Bryan, that was my strategy, by the way. Wait and see what everyone else does, and then pick, because that's just how hard it is to decide between these games today, where nothing really pops out. The lines all seem very accurate. I'm not getting, like, the ranking prospects is like, this is where it's a problem. Like, because now the Mariners continue to feel like they have to force Logan Evans because he came into the season with a lot of hype. It wasn't that he was like so the two things you see with these like prospect type guys are, one, they're drafted too highly, and then the team feels like they have to like run them out there because they've got to get some return out of them. If not, someone in the front office probably loses their job for drafting someone highly and it turning into nothing. And then two, when they really move up and they get in like these top 100 prospects lists and stuff like that, and then it's like, we're still forcing Logan Evans out into big league games. It's like the third try this year, and he's really done very little to inspire confidence that he's going to do much at the big league level. So that's, what I've seen. I didn't think he was ready watching his Tacoma starts. And it's like the Mariners are now on try number 3. Some of that has to go back to Emerson Hancock didn't really step up and take that spot. And then who's the guy that's hurt? Is it Miller, Bryan? Is Bryce Miller the one that's still out?
Yeah.
Right. So that's why Logan Evans is here, right? That is why he's here. And when you look at the stuff, the underlying metrics and whatnot, he's not a guy I want to back. And I don't really think he belongs in a big league rotation right now. So clear edge in the pitching to the Angels, because Kikuchi, I'll agree with you. On any other team, he might not be an all-star because, the Angels didn't really have a great candidate outside of them to send to the game, I suppose. But he's still been pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. That's how little I followed. Did Trout actually go? Was he on the team this year? I don't remember. Couldn't care less. All-star games doesn't matter to me.
No,
Kikuchi though at times has looked very good. His at times he's looked very good. The one thing I love about Kikuchi is the ability to pitch, sort of get himself into a jam and pitch out of it. That's just a good veteran sort of thing he has going. And the Mariners have hit better on the road, but I think he can kind of keep the ball down, throw some off-speed stuff here, and he might be able to limit the Mariners in that regard. So I lean the Angels, but this price is not very palatable. So I'll have to, again, can we go to you, TB? Do you know what you want to do? Because Bryan and I both don't want to pick yet. So why don't you kick off the parlay?
Okay. I'm looking at Pinnacle just because I don't have DraftKings up right now. I like the Mariners team total under 4.5, and they have it at -132. So I think I'll go with that one today.
You said -132?
That's what it is on Pinnacle, but usually those lines are very nice compared to DraftKings. It's probably 145 on DraftKings, right?
DraftKings has a totally different number. It's -140 at the high, -127 at the low. So whatever you want to choose there.
-140 is all right. It's a big parlay, so.
And again, we talk about parlaying team totals. I know some people can't do it. If you can't get on TB's team total, Angels win is about the same. Yeah, Angels win is about the same price. I kind of think they win today. I don't love the price. I kind of think they win. So that would sort of correlate with what Tokyo Brandon is talking about. All right, Bryan, who's going? You or me?
I'll go. I'll take Toronto with Lauer. You're getting him at a plus price. I prefer to play underdogs as opposed to favorites whenever I get a chance. And since he's started us off with the -140, I'll come back with Detroit. 110. Detroit or Toronto plus 110 here. Detroit's been good on the season versus lefties, but this isn't the same lineup that they had earlier this season. And Lauer, I think, will continue to pitch well. Like I said, this is not the kind of card I like. It's 7 games, and there's nothing that really jumps out at me. So I may play some props later on for clients, but I'm not going to have anything for sides or totals.
Yeah, once I'm with you there. I was going to use this one if you didn't. Until the Tigers stop playing like the Erie Seawolves, their AA affiliate, I think you got to keep playing against them. They've looked like not the same team. So I don't disagree with that at all. I really like Lauer. And since you took that one, I'm just going to, you know what? Let's go let's try to hit a good one today. I'm going A's money line. Severino's numbers are so much better on the road. The splits are night and day. Someone in the chat said the Astros are winning with a Space Cowboys roster. They're right. That's referring to the Sugarland Space Cowboys, their AAA team. I mean, this Astros lineup 1-9. Yeah, like 1-9. This Astros lineup very much looks like a AAA lineup. It's been amazing to see what they've done to this point. But you essentially have AAA lineup, and Jason Alexander is no more than a AAA starter. At the big league level, he might be a guy that you put in when you're down 5 and see if he can keep you in the game. Like, that's what he is, in my opinion, right now at the big league level. So the fact that we can get plus 110 with the guy that, remember, the A's paid this guy at one point. They thought Severino was their ace. Like, and actually on the road, he's kind of pitched like it. The road numbers are very good. I don't know what kind of like voodoo goes on in Sutter Health Park, but he either can't pitch there or he doesn't want to pitch there. When he's been on the road, he's been very good. So let's go for some that'll be a pretty good parlay. We've got 2 dogs in there today. So I'm gonna run this one. This should be over 6-1. This would be the one we sort of need to really get back in the mix. We have Bryan Leonard's going plus 110. Bryan, what's the number on A's that's fair right now?
Also plus 110.
All right, so we've got a plus 110. Yeah, so we got plus 110 with the A's, plus 110 with the Blue Jays, and then Tokyo Brandon is on Mariners team total under 4.5. It's like roughly minus 132. If you can't parlay the team total, you can throw Angels money line in there at essentially the same price. Boys, that's plus 675. That would get us back on track right here in the parlay category. The plus 675 3-teamer. So let's do it. That's A's money line for me, Blue Jays money line for Bryan Leonard, and then we've got a team total, Mariners team total under 4.5 for Tokyo Brandon. That's the 3-teamer, guys. We did it. We managed to turn a 5-game slate into our normal hour show, right on the money. Rant included, priced into the timing. Have a great day, and we'll be back to normal tomorrow. We get the full slate. We'll be on the ball. We'll be clicking through normal. No, we won't go in order. Sorry, that's never going to happen. It's always going to go off of you guys in the chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Head on over to Waiter Talk YouTube channel. Drop us a comment, and we'll see you guys in the morning.